Deep in the Himalayas, there's a journey that's as much about your inner spirit as it is about the incredible peaks around you. Today, we're diving into one of the world's most breathtaking routes, Bhutan's Druk Path Trek. It's this amazing trip that mixes just stunning natural beauty with a really ancient culture. This quote just perfectly captures what Bhutan is all about. It's a kingdom that's famous not just for its dramatic landscapes, but for its deep spiritual roots and its totally unique philosophy of gross national happiness. So the Drukpath Trek, it's not just a walk. It's this moving exploration of that inner and outer world all at once. Before you even think about lacing up your hiking boots, the adventure begins the moment you arrive. The first part of this whole experience is really just about letting yourself sink into the unique atmosphere of what people call the last great Himalayan kingdom. So what is it that makes Bhutan so different? Well, it's this incredible mix of culture and nature. You've got these majestic fortress monasteries, they call them dzongs, set against a backdrop of just unbelievably dramatic, steep valleys and towering, unclimbed peaks. It's a landscape that feels powerful and sacred at the same time. And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, one of the famous peaks you'll see is Mount Jomolhari, standing at over 7,300 meters. I mean, this is the kind of epic scenery that's a constant reminder of the raw power of the Himalayas. All right, so our journey on the ground really kicks off in the town of Paro. But listen, this is not just some airport city. It's the sacred gateway to the entire experience, a place where you get to acclimatize both your body and your spirit for the adventure that's coming. The first few days here are just so important. You spend them adjusting to the altitude while at the same time exploring Bhutan's history. You'd get to visit sites like the ruins of Drukyal Dzong, that's a 17th century fortress, and Kichula Hakong, which is one of the kingdom's oldest and most sacred temples. And then comes the first major highlight, the hike to the legendary Taktsang monastery, which you've probably heard of as the Tiger's Nest. Believe me, this is way more than just a warm-up. It's a pilgrimage and a real test of what's ahead. 900 meters. Just let that sink in. That's the height of the sheer cliff face this monastery is like impossibly glued to. It is an architectural marvel that you really have to see to believe. So you're probably wondering, how did it even get there and why the name Tiger's Nest? Well, the legend is amazing. It says that Guru Padmasambhava, the mystic who brought Buddhism to Bhutan, flew to this exact spot on the back of a tigress. He then meditated in a cave right there, making the location sacred forever. Okay, so we've mentioned dzongs a few times, and they are absolutely central to understanding Bhutan. A dzong is this unique kind of building. It's part fortress, part monastery, and part administrative center, all rolled into one. They are the historic and cultural hearts of every single valley, like the Paro Dzong. Okay, so you've done the cultural deep dive, you're physically acclimatized, and now we get to the heart of the journey, the 5-day trek itself. This is the Druk Path, an ancient route that connects the Valley of Paro with Bhutan's capital, Thimphu. Now, let's be real, the physical journey is demanding. You can see the steady climb over 4 days, starting above 3,500 meters, and then peaking at Simkota, a really challenging 4,110 meters up. And from there, it's this dramatic final descent into the Thimphu Valley. Make no mistake, this is a serious high-altitude trek. And as you climb, the whole world around you just transforms. The journey starts in these beautiful pine forests, and then those give way to groves of rhododendrons. Pretty soon, you're above the tree line, walking along high mountain ridges with these panoramic views and camping beside quiet, pristine alpine lakes. But don't think you're just walking through some empty wilderness. Along the way, you're pretty likely to meet local yak herders, people who are living a life that has barely changed over centuries. And those lakes you camp by, like Jomolhari, they're famous for their giant trout. So, a potential fresh dinner if you get lucky. So after 5 days out on the trail, the trek finally ends on the outskirts of Thimphu. This marks the last leg of our journey, a really fascinating transition from the solitude of the mountains to the vibrant heart of the kingdom. And the contrast is, wow, it's immediate and so powerful. You go from the total solitude of the trail to the seat of government, from these chance encounters with yak herders to viewing ancient manuscripts in the National Library, from just gazing at distant peaks to visiting national museums and art schools. It's a really profound shift in your whole perspective. And this is where the exploration of Bhutanese culture just gets more intense. You get to experience these key sites in Thimphu and nearby Punakha, from the magnificent Punakha Dzong, also known as the Palace of Great Happiness, to the kind of quirky but deeply revered Temple of Fertility. So, after 10 days of trekking through high passes and exploring ancient fortresses, what's the big picture here? What is it that makes this journey so much more than just a vacation? Yeah, what is the ultimate highlight? Is it the mountains, the monasteries, the physical challenge? Maybe the real highlight isn't a single moment at all, but the way all these different pieces come together to create something more. Because the Druk path is so much more than just a hike. It's an opportunity to experience the raw power of the Himalayas, for sure, but it's also a chance to connect with local people, to immerse yourself in this rich and living culture, and to just stand in awe of both virgin peaks and centuries of history, all at once. Which leaves us with a final question, one for you to think about. After 10 days of blending that spiritual discovery with physical struggle, climbing through clouds to find ancient monasteries and modern cities, what part of Bhutan's spirit would you bring home with you?